Good evening, everyone, and I thank you all for joining our first ever Share Chat Ads Masterclass. Create smarter campaigns to grow in Bharat. The masterclass is scheduled for a duration of 90 minutes. The first 60 minutes will include a presentation and learning on the platform. Kindly post your queries to the Q&A box throughout the session and do not post them on chat, please. We will take your questions towards the final 30 minutes. Now, I would like to introduce you to the speakers and ad experts for the evening, Mr. Nikunj Jhunjhunwala and Mr. Siddharth Arora. Our speakers will help you explore the ShareChat ads platform and help you learn how to set up campaigns on it. Over to you, Nikunj.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining in and taking out the time to go through this session with us. We'll just get started. So right at the outset, I just wanted to set some context. Like Bhavna just mentioned, I think we have launched this new self-serve platform, and Siddharth later in the session will obviously take you guys through the entire product demo. But what we wanted to start out with is go a little zoomed out, start with how, let's say, India's users are evolving. Where does ShareChat fit into all of this? And how does our unique product offering come into the market and, let's say, help you guys in terms of, let's say, advertising to your user bases? So that is where we want to start with, and that is how the flow would also look like. Starting right from talking about the users of Bharat in general, then going into unique positioning of ShareChat as a platform, and then talking a little bit more in depth about our product, which we want to discuss. So now, if we talk about Bharat today and let's say how it is evolving in terms of its internet population, we definitely know that a lot of our users are, let's say, newer in terms of their internet age. So for example, if we speak about the first 100 billion internet users of India, they were very, let's say, savvy in terms of their tech knowledge. They were actually English speaking kind of an audience. But the next set of 200, 400 billion internet users would start coming in from your rural India, would speak vernacular languages, and they would be a different kind of an audience profile from the first 100 billion, right? And that is why it is very important to nuance your product offerings to that particular internet audience, and that is where ShareChat kicks in. So we believe Bharat the number one social media lab, and this is something which we'll talk about in detail in future slides. At this point of time, you can think of the scale which we drive through our platform, because 1 in every 4 internet users in India already use ShareChat. So that is the kind of scale we are talking about, and this is just growing. Now, when we talk about the overall Bharat audience landscape, we all know and understand that we are a nation actually which is multicultural, multilingual. We have about 1,600 different dialects, people speaking in 800 odd different mother tongues, and we actually have 22 different official languages, right? So this is like a Europe kind of a continent actually stuck together in a smaller country, right? So, and like I was just mentioning, the first 10% of our population, when they were transitioning into internet, their preferred language was English. They were influenced by the West, and even the social media platforms which came into being in India to start with, obviously all of them were very specific to how these platforms were built for English-speaking audiences in the West. So be it, let's say, if you talk about Facebook, if you talk about Twitter, if you talk about LinkedIn as well, right? So different social networks, let's say, targeted to different use cases, but all of them were targeted to this first 10% of India's internet population. But on the left, if you see, the remaining 90% of Bharat, they actually are very different in their profile, right? They prefer to speak in mother tongue. They probably prefer a platform which understands their nuances, which handholds them in terms of taking them through that journey of understanding internet, understanding how should they traverse in that particular platform, and their overall internet age itself is on the lower side, right? And that presents in itself a unique set of challenges in terms of how you think about this particular population. They're very local in terms of, let's say, having many different nuances of let's say an East India and a smaller city, let's say on the east side compared to how people would behave, let's say, in South India. And this is a huge potentially untapped market in terms of customer acquisition for any of our businesses, right? So if I were to take, let's say, simple example of, let's say, retail, for example, and all of us know that in horizontal retail, the two biggest digital platforms are Amazon and Flipkart today in the country. For both of them, their growth in terms of the first 10% internet audience is already hit a ceiling. And the biggest KPI which they also chase is how do they go about tapping this new internet audience, and how do they acquire new customers from that particular base. And the way they have traversed their journey, obviously their platform is not built to cater to their needs. So it's a big struggle for these kind of big platforms as well in terms of how do they tap into this new audience space. And when we talk about this Bharat today, the journey of them becoming, let's say, Bharatvasis is also going through a ever evolving space, right? And if you think about it, the COVID or the pandemic which we are in right now, and we have still not come out of it, has actually accelerated that shift, I would say. Because of the restricted movement options which we have had in the last 1.5 years, a lot of these users have actually jumped probably 2 or 3 loops in terms of their internet adoption, right? Be it, let's say, the rise in consumption of how they're coming and consuming a lot of content, be it short form video or, let's say, even longer forms OTT content, or how do they go about, let's say, searching for different do-it-yourself recipes on YouTube. Everything, if we take it together, there is much higher time spent online in terms of either learning or leisure or even, let's say, commerce, right? And we'll see some of those things in future slides, how this new internet population have actually taken very aggressively to even transact online. So that is the kind of, let's say, population we are talking about. And we strongly believe that this particular population will even evolve much faster, let's say, in future as well. If you think about the overall pie of India's internet space, we definitely think rural will, let's say, transcend these boundaries very quickly or very aggressively. By 2025, we are looking at a huge audience base of about 1 billion rural internet users, all of whom have very unique preferences, all of whom have different nuances in terms of their language preferences, in terms of their cultural preferences. And how does a particular platform cater to all of that while being, let's say, synergistic in terms of what it offers is going to be a big challenge. And I'm sure right now in all of your minds, one particular question which will still be left unanswered is that, okay, all of this is still fine, but if you still think, let's say, this new internet user base, do they actually have the purchasing power to transact online? Because that is what ultimately will decide, let's say, what kind of spending power they have and whether they do commerce online, right? And it will be very interesting. And for some of you, actually, this might be an eye opener. If we try to understand their purchasing power, this is coming from a Bain study which was published recently. And if you think about this particular user base, 68% of them use video streaming apps. And for example, 70% of them actually use handsets which are more than 13K worth, right? And I'm not reading through all the data points over here, which you can see on the screen, but there is definitely a big chunk of these users which is already hovering around 70% or thereabouts in terms of their let's say signaling of what kind of purchasing power they have, right? And this is the India's digital monetizable population which we are talking about, 85% of which will clearly be driven by the vernacular audience markets which we are seeing. And this in itself, let's say in absolute terms, will be as big as 400 billion, which we are looking at by 2023. So we are talking about high absolutes as well as a huge growth potential and an audience base which we will definitely see as someone who is purchasing or, let's say, spending heavily on digital commerce as well. So there's a huge potential out there in terms of the overall landscape. And that is where, let's say, ShareChat as a platform kicks in. Like I said, we are Bharat's #1 language first social media app. We do a bunch of unique things. ShareChat is a platform which is close to 7 years old. We bring the strengths of, let's say, some of the top social media apps together in terms of how do you invest heavily in AI in terms of making your feeds personalized to the users so that they stick around to spend time on your platform, while also bringing in a lot of regional nuances in terms of how do you customize it for, let's say, Marathi speaking users compared to, let's say, Bengali speaking users compared to, let's say, Tamil speaking users. So keeping all of that in mind and bringing the best of, let's say, Western social media platforms while still customizing it for Indian context or Bharat context is where we think we are unique. And that definitely manifests in terms of the kind of growth which we have seen in the last few years. Some of the data points just to showcase that particular growth. We are still sitting at about 180 million monthly active users. Like I said, 1 in every 4 internet user in India is right now spending his or her time on ShareChat platform. We have a very strong we have a very strong creator community, which is to the tune of 30 million odd, who come to the platform on a regular basis and create a lot of content, which is then consumed by a bigger user base. And that sets in a unique kind of flywheel in terms of retention on the platform. So far, we have seen about 2.5 billion content which has been shared on the platform. We get 92 billion video views on a daily basis, and overall we see about 75 plus million UGC creations in a month. So these kind of numbers are unparalleled when we speak about the Indian social media or content space, and this ecosystem is just going to grow even bigger in future. If we go a little deeper in terms of understanding ShareChat as a platform and how have we, let's say, managed to bring a lot of strengths together in terms of catering to our zonal communities. I'm sure many of you would have experienced the app already. We don't even have an English option, for example, and we have 15 different languages to choose from. The top 5 languages, which is Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, and Kannada, contribute to, let's say, a bigger chunk of our audience population at this point of time. These are some snapshots in terms of where are we stronger, or what kind of, let's say, regional distribution we are seeing. So for example, you see there are about 67 million MAUs which we have in the south versus a 21 million population which we have in the east. Some of this is also reflective of the overall penetration of internet in different regions of India. So for example, south is much more advanced in terms of the internet penetration. While if you look at some of the smaller cities where we are still big, you will still get a sense that how quickly we have actually distributed or gone into, let's say, higher levels of penetration, even in semi-urban or rural cities, right? So that is how, let's say, a snapshot of our audience profile looks like. And now when, let's say, we enter into the next particular section, I'm going to actually spend a few minutes talking a little bit more about some of the unique things or some of the USPs which ShareChat brings in this particular ecosystem. And now you'll get a glimpse of how we have managed to actually grow so fast and to the kind of scale numbers which we are just seeing, right? And one of the biggest pillars of that growth, we believe strongly, is a very strong backend of AI-driven personalization, right? And we spend enormous amounts of time thinking about our users, what their unique needs are, what their nuanced preferences are. And if you just look at this particular snapshot of a very popular social media app, when they actually think about customizing to the Indian internet or Indian internet user base, they actually just think of simple UI adaptations and translations, right? And which is still a big disconnect in terms of how you see the platform and how you experience the platform. And ShareChat doesn't do that, right? ShareChat goes much more beyond the actual simple translations, aligning with actually regions and the different cultures. We actually make the users feel at home in terms of how they can experience our platform in their very unique way and still feel a part of, let's say, the same ecosystem. So a Tamil user actually logging into our platform will kind of have a very, very different experience in terms of the overall UI, in terms of the overall, let's say, content being displayed to him or her compared to someone who is logging in, let's say, from Gujarat, right? And this is where our unique proposition kicks in. How, for example, we customize for their, let's say, cultural nuances. How do we customize for their festivals? How do we customize for, let's say, their content preferences? So, for example, someone who might be logging in from Chennai, like I was just speaking about, they might see something which is more topical in terms of, let's say, a Tamilian festival coming up, or they might see content which is more leaned on in terms of, let's say, Tamil movies and let's say memes about Rajnikant and so on, versus someone else who might be actually logging from a different part of India, and they would actually be seeing or experiencing a very different platform. So in a nutshell, both sets of users actually experiencing the same platform, but still taking back an experience which is very, very unique and tailored to them, which I think forms the core proposition in terms of what our unique USP is in the market. And this is not achieved very easily. We have spent years and years in terms of perfecting our algorithms from an AI personalization perspective, which is a combination of deep data science as well as some bits of human interventions to give it a more directionally personalized experience based on every user's interests, location, etc. And this is where the core fits in. And like I said, this AI is obviously used to personalize content from all the different dimensions, right? So when we go deeper into the AI aspects of it, uh, there are many different complex pieces which we have to think of, right? So how do you think of, for example, a trending kind of a feed on a social media app where you want to actually personalize basis the past interests as well as the trending subjects which bring in the topicality, whereas also giving them an option to go to a different section like an explore feed where they can actually come out of, let's say, heavier personalization and still explore some of the newer content categories which they might be interested in, right? And how do you actually take all of this together in terms of also plugging in some level of human intervention which can shape in the personalization? And when I say human intervention, this would be on the dimensions of how can you plug in some, let's say, latest trends, how can you actually do social listening which is outside of your platform and still basically bring in on platform in terms of shaping towards different, let's say, community discourses and so on and so forth, right? So in a nutshell, everything on ShareChat is actually wired in a way that keeps the user coming back for more, keeps the user coming back for the kind of content they want to experience and want to share with their community. And this is what keeps the platform growing at the kind of speed which we are growing, right? And that is where we kind of, let's say, have positioned ourselves in the market. So just to quickly recap, we saw the overall Indian internet population. We saw a lot of their unique preferences, how their spending power is increased manyfold, and how they are uniquely positioned to, let's say, drive the next growth in overall commerce in the internet era. And then we also saw a little bit more about ShareChat as a platform and how it's uniquely positioned in terms of doing some of these things to capture that particular attention and user base. Now I quickly hand over to my colleague Siddharth, who will take the next section in terms of going deeper into how this platform also offers all of you unique offering in terms of advertising to this particular internet user base. Over to you, Siddharth.
Hey, Nikunj. Yeah, thanks so much for setting up the wonderful context for all our attendees onto this first ShareChat Ads Masterclass that we're holding. And thanks to everyone who joined in for gathering context about what ShareChat is, what we are doing within the ShareChat Ads platform, and how we are, kind of turning away the face of how digital ads with vernacular India works. I'll just take a quick moment to start sharing my screen. Awesome. I hope you all are able to see my screen. We've talked about how ShareChat is working with the regional Bharat and how important it is to reach out to users in their own language. We have a lot of testimonials with our current advertisers who have gained huge amounts of conversions and brand awareness on their vernacular ads that have run on ShareChat. We've come out with a self-serve ads platform as well, which is now, I guess, some 6 months old. We've been running very, very aggressive beta functions for people to come on board, take their feedback, and then keep on improvising on the product. When we talk about how the product overview that we're going to see is going to work, right? We're going to talk about what all ad objectives right now are present on the platform. We're going to talk about what all targeting practices you guys can use, how our unique targeting variables that we have available on the system lets you target your audience based on demographics, user psychographics, and all. We're going to talk about also the various ad formats that we have available in terms of all nativized static video ads and all interstitial full screen ads that we have, and how you can use them to achieve your brand's objective towards creating a brand awareness or towards generating engagement with the ShareChat user base, or trying to gather as much as possible visitor conversions for the people who engage with your ads. We're also going to talk about how you can measure your performances onto your ads that you've run on ShareChat, and how these analytics are going to help you to further, drill down into what works best on ShareChat for your brand, and then make tweaks to your further campaigns. There are going to be a lot more definitions on how user demographics are used, how user psychographics are used, how the device information that the user provides us and the telecom and network speeds of the users are used for all the advertisers that are available on the platform to kind of drill down to the native audience that you want to reach out to. And then again, I'm going to quickly show you guys how the analytics platform that we have built out works for you, and also maybe share a few specific details about what we are coming up next. I'll quickly start sharing the ads dashboard now. And this is the landing page. Whenever you go hit ads.sharechat.com on your browser, this is the landing page that you see. There's humongous amounts of details that are available on the website that you can go and see how the blogs are coming out, what all events we are hosting, what is the new news around ShareChat. There are a few research reports that we have churned out for you to peruse through. But for a new user, when you want to get started, you just have to hit the Get Started button. There's some information that we ask of you just to know you better, and also customize how you experience ShareChat ads. While you get started and while you're signing up, you just have to enter your registered business name, which for demo purposes, I'll keep as demo, and then your registered business email, which you should use for all correspondence that we send to you. Your business contact number, of course, because correspondence doesn't just have to be on emails, right? So we ask for your business contact number. You choose a safe password, and you're in. The next thing that we do is we just verify that the email that you've given to us is legible or not. You just hit next, and you'll get an OTP to your email address that you've registered. This gets you all wired up. While in the backend we are creating your new user onto ShareChat ads, you just get redirected onto your unique presence on ShareChat that we call the ShareChat handle. I take a few moments to describe how this is important, right? All ads on ShareChat are nativized to the platform so that there is not a lot of user pain that is generated while users are consuming content, as well as the contextual ads that we serve to them. And the ShareChat account handle is your business presence onto the ShareChat app. This is tied down to your business phone number as well. So whatever phone number you've provided to us essentially in the beginning for all correspondence purposes is again used to kind of create your business presence on the ShareChat app as well. Right now, I happen to have a business presence already to my phone number. And if you happen to have the same, you can just go ahead and click on the link this button. A subtle position on the right, you'd also see that what is the brand image that you've associated with your phone number and what is the brand name that you've associated with the phone number, right? This is what you see right here. If you happen to have a handle already, you can just go on and link the existing handle that you have, or you can hit change number and change your number or give us a new number, whatever you want to do. You can give us the right number for which you want to create your brand presence, and we should be good to go. As soon as you enter your business account number, again, there has to be a legibility built up. So what we do is we ask for a business OTP that we send to your mobile app. And as soon as you enter that, you're in. So you go through your email verification and your mobile number verification. This gets you into the ShareChat ads platform. we've kept it quite simple for people to, get onboarded. And on the overview, you get these two very subtle, prominent CTAs with what you can, using what you can, kind of go ahead and create your first campaign. But before that, I'd like to take you through the account manager section, where we take a lot of information that is again used for providing you a lot of functionalities in your further experience of the platform. And one out of them is the Google Play URL. So if you happen to have a website, if you happen to have an app and you're gonna maybe create campaigns for your app install or user acquisition, we ask for the Google Play URL of your app, and that sets you up for a few features that we're going to talk about later in this demo. While we are on the overview page, let's just quickly see how, and maybe jump the gun, look at how create campaign works. How do you create your first campaign? Because that is what we are all here for, right? Even on your first campaign creation, we give you a subtle intent if you want to change the business image, if you want to change what profile your business goes with. All you have to do is click the CTA, change your image if you want to, or maybe if you want to change your profile name for your business, you can go and change it here. I'll tell you how it is important, right? While all our ads are nativized, your business image and your business profile name is very, very necessary to be on point. Why? Because every ad of yours that is going to go on the ShareChat app is going to have a very subtle call out to your business profile image and your business profile name, just to give the users who are consuming the ads as much as context as possible about your brand. One more thing that we ask of you to, enter on your first campaign creation is give us the advertiser category that you go with that suits the best to your brand. I'm going to choose apparel, for instance, right now, and just hit submit so that this information is persisted within the ShareChat database. Going ahead, when you're creating your first campaign, you just have to give a subtle, unique name to your campaign that helps you, kind of look back to your campaigns that you created in the past and move ahead with it. We have 3 goal selections, 3 goals available on the platform. The first is awareness. So if your end goal or your business objective is to create as much as awareness as possible for your brand, you go with brand awareness. What brand awareness as a goal helps you is to create campaigns on a cost per 1,000 impressions pricing model. So if you happen to select brand awareness and go ahead into your scheduling and budgeting and targeting sections, the pricing model that will be pre-selected for you is a CPM buy, and you'd be able to buy inventory on a cost per 1,000 impression basis. If you happen to be interested in generating some traffic to your website or some traffic to your applications, you select the consideration goal, and this helps you configure your campaign on a cost per click pricing model. While conversion that you see right now is available and enabled on my demo account right now, it might not be enabled on your existing account. If any of you here among the attendees have an account on ShareChat ads already, this is something that we are rolling out in beta. And if you want to get enrolled into the beta, all you have to do is quickly hit us up on our chatbot, talk to our client solutions team, and we will create a funnel where we can roll this beta out to you guys. And we still have a few seats open. So you can go ahead and maybe request for this enrollment into the beta, and we'll open up conversions for you. The 3 ad formats that we have available on the platform right now: the native in-feed display. This is how your ad looks. The native in-feed video, if you want to run outstream video ads to reach out to the users, this is what format you select. And the interstitial, that is a fully interactive, full screen image, a static image that comes on the user's app when they're exiting the app. And this is what helps you create the best impact if you want to. Right now, I'm just going to go ahead with native in-feed display and start creating my first campaign. While you're going to select your campaign start date, of course, you need to start at one point, right? So you can choose to select your start date. You can choose to select what time you want your campaign to start delivering. And for now, I'm just going to keep this as an endless campaign. You just hit this checkbox and your campaign will keep on running forever until and unless you want to maybe pause it or disable it, or maybe pause it for a while, change your creatives. You can also, if it is a time sensitive campaign, you can also give us an end date and an end time, and that will be honored. Since you see that I have selected a conversion model, I have selected the conversion goal. I get an option like the pricing model that is selected is a cost per click. I'll tell you why is it cost per click and we still call it conversion. For conversion, it is necessary for ShareChat to learn how the audience that ShareChat is deriving to your own property is behaving on your property. For that, we have two ways. You can either, if you are an app client, you can give us your post packs. You're necessary to have a MMP configured to your app for that. And again, the beta that I was talking about, if you have a website where you're deriving a lot of traffic, maybe deriving sales out of your Shopify storefront, you have the ShareChat pixel available to you that you can implement on your website. And as soon as we start getting that data, you can open up and configure a conversion campaign for yourself. Although we still bill you on the clicks that you derive from these campaigns, but our internal data science algorithms that we are generating every day, we are improving every day with all the data that has been flowing into the ad system. We optimize for the end conversion while we still bill you on the clicks. You can go ahead, select whatever daily budget you want to assign to your campaign. For now, I'm just going to keep it as a $3,000 that I want to burn on ShareChat ads every day. And you can put on your suggested bid. So whatever you're willing to pay for a click on the ShareChat ads platform is what you enter here. Coming to the mammoth on this page, all the targeting variables and something that we take as a star on a collar is the list, a plethora of all these targeting variables that we have available for you to target and reach out to your audience in the way that you want to. We allow you age targeting, gender targeting, which is pretty oftenly available on other ad platforms as well. And for geographic targeting, you can go ahead, select the cities where your users reside and you want to target them, the states where your users reside, the telecom operators. Maybe a few advertisers might have a use case where they only want to use out to a certain user who uses a certain telecom operator. You can select the device manufacturer. So whatever device manufacturer the user, like whatever device the user is using. And if you want to maybe only reach out to a audience group that owns a Samsung device, maybe you are a advertiser who sells phone cases. Maybe you are an advertiser who sells top-ups on Hello Tunes. This is all what you can use here. And you can also certainly tell us that I don't want to target any person who has a phone older than a year, or I don't want to target any person who has a 5-year-old phone. So we give you a minimum device age and a maximum device age targeting parameter as well. I know India has a lot of cities and it can be very, very time consuming for you to, maybe go ahead and drill down into giving us every city name that is available. What you can also do is maybe go ahead and just select what tier of cities do you want to target. Besides that, you have network speeds that we talked about earlier as well, and the device price bucket. So instead of giving you a particular number range, we've given you how the device price we have bucketed on our own level. So you can select maybe the devices that are very low in range, low maybe $5,000 to $10,000, medium, which is $10,000 to $13,000, high, which is 13 to 20, and very high, which is 20 and above. So you can also target users on the basis of how expensive or how inexpensive their mobile devices are. Going forward, the three of our most favorite, the most worked upon, and the most dynamic signals that we allow you to target on our users is app affinity, in-market category, and content affinity. Within app affinity, what you can do is you can go select a category of an app. If you want to go and reach out to users who are very much into sports and have a lot of apps that revolve around sports and games, you can go select sports and games, and we on our end will be targeting users only. We'll be targeting your ads or your campaign only to the users who have a very, very high affinity to the apps that are tagged to sports and games. Going ahead, in market category. This is a category that lets you know what is your end user in market for. So on the basis of the user's last 15 days of activity on the app, we get to know what is this user in market for, to what kind of ads is this person responding to the maximum. and a lot more data that we collect and trace on other ends. We all of that data is crunched into the single very dynamic targeting value. And again, to this point as well, you get a level 1 and level 2 of targeting criteria if you want to go ahead and target people who are in market for shopping. With the festive season coming up, we are also hoping a lot of users to kind of pour into this shopping bucket. So just being mindful of that, we've also included a level 2 targeting variable within in-market. So if you want to target users who have very high intent of shopping in the next 15 days, you can just go and select the whole shopping bucket. But if you want to drill a little deeper into what all shopping categories do we have available, and we have some learnings about our users on these categories, you can go ahead and delve down into what is the level 2 category of shopping that we allow. So maybe you want to look for users who are in market for kitchenware and also home appliances and furniture. You select all these in market categories and you're good to go to, for your campaign to be delivering to people who have very high intent and are in market for shopping for the further down, drilled down categories of kitchenware, furniture, and home appliances. Towards the end, we are a content-heavy platform. Nikunj has spoken at length of how we learn on our user behaviors in the terms of how they are consuming the content and also how they are consuming the promoted content. It's only fair that you give you an opportunity to, actually target users on what genre or what level of content are they very interested in consuming. And this might also give you a touch point for the users that, okay, if you own a Shopify store where you're selling a lot of stationery, people who consume art, crafts, and DIY content are very intentful for kind of buying your product. Or if you are a YouTuber and you want to promote your channel, maybe and you write interviews or you hold up interviews for some new movies or how they're doing, you give up your take on how different celebrities are doing in the market. You can go select your content affinity for movies and celebrity and so on. The list is exhaustive, but we make it a point that whatever makes the best sense to our advertisers, we keep on adding and deleting whatever is necessary. Another touch point that you could have. So I'm just going to go ahead and select only just one targeting variable. Maybe you just want to reach out to the males, and also if you wanted to reach out to males who are in, say, Maharashtra. You select that, and obviously you need a view, right? How many people am I going to reach? What is the end user base that is available to me within this user cohort? After you select all your targeting variables, you can quickly go and click estimate. This gives you a view on how many users are available within your cohort that you can reach out to if your campaign is going to run for a month. So we give you a subtle view on the MAU for your selected cohort. And this might help you to, assign budgets, assign better bids, and all those things. Going forward, we also give you an option to frequency cap your campaign. So not everyone wants their campaigns or their creatives to be delivered to the same user multiple times, right? So this is what lets you put a check on what is going to be the delivery of your campaign and how many users are you still going to reach within how many impressions. So on default, we put a 3 per lifetime. So none of the users within your cohort would get your campaign more than 3 times. If you also want to, strategize a little bit more and you want to divide your impressions within the days of your campaigns, you might also go and cascade the initial frequency cap with another daily frequency cap. So maybe you want none of the users get more than 3 impressions in the lifetime of your campaign, but you also want your users not to see more than 1 impression in a day. This is what lets you do that, right? And the cascading frequency cap is that simple to implement. What all levels of frequency cap you can apply in cascading is lifetime of the campaign, in a week, and in a day. Quickly moving forward to how you upload your creatives. If you remember, I selected a native display ad as a native ad format. And that is what I'm gonna, kind of traffic here for all of you. While we have already talked about a lot of targeting options available, right? But again, while we talk about Bharat, the regionalism, how people are best comfortable in their own languages, and we have lots and lots of data to back our statement here. We allow you to target your creatives to a certain language as well. And when you happen to target your creative to a language, this particularly means if you wanted to reach out to users who are in Maharashtra and are males, with the language targeting of Marathi, you also make sure that your creatives and your campaigns are only delivered to people who are consuming content in the Marathi language. So if I Siddharth happen to be a male and I'm residing in Maharashtra, for instance, but my native language is Hindi, your campaign is a little non-contextual to me and won't be delivered if you select the right language attribution to your creatives. And this is how we help you to, actually tap into the real power of ShareChat that Nikunj has already talked about earlier. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two creatives. One, I'm going to target to all languages, and the another one I'm going to make specifically for Hindi language. Again, towards the creation of your creatives, you just give it a name. What is the redirect URL that you want to take your user to? Your redirect URL can have the URL to your website or your URL to your app install. It can have your Google Play Store URL with your UTM so that you map the right user and you get the right attribution, or the click redirection URLs that you create with various MMPs like AppsFlyer, Adjust, Singular, Kuchava, Branch. We are integrated with all of them. And as soon as you integrate with your MMP and look for ShareChat as an integrated partner, all these MMPs let you generate URLs that are specific to ShareChat and lets you post back your installed data to ShareChat for the better learning. We also have customizable CTAs. So if you want to talk to your user in your own communication and narrative language that you've set up, a few brands talk to their users in a very funny way. A few brands talk to users in a thematic or a moment marketing kind of a way. We let you customize your CTAs. We don't give you an option of 5 CTAs that you can choose from. This is fully customizable. If I'm going to add up an image that talks about the shirts that I'm going to sell, I'm going to put a CTA text as by now. And quickly also uploading the creative. As soon as you upload a creative, on the bottom of your screen will pop out a subtle preview of how your creative is actually going to look like in the app. You can have all those aesthetic changes to your creatives as well. Maybe a grayish background or a grayish CTA color looks better for my shirt image, right? So I'm just going to do that. Select the transparency, maybe tweak the color a little bit, and my CTA has been customized, looking better. How my creative image is, giving the right theme, and this is how you can add up all the aesthetic functionalities or whatever we allow to make aesthetic changes to your creative as it looks in the end on the ShareChat app. You can also add a caption. So the caption in the post view is typically something that you want to talk about your product as well. So adding a caption is pretty easy. We have a small text box and you can enter your caption in any language. Besides that, we also have a few checkboxes that can enable or disable comments and sharing. Since all these creatives are also promoted posts on the platform, people are allowed to comment or share your ad post. If of some reasons you don't want people to be commenting on your product or sharing your product, all you have to do is check these boxes and sharing and comment gets disabled. This is one creative that I created, right? There is another creative that I want to. If I have to run multiple creatives in the campaign, all I have to do is hit add creative and add a new creative. This one specifically, I'm going to do it for the Hindi language and show you how the creative with your vernacular languages also look. I'm going to add a caption that is again in Hindi. And mind you, as I previously mentioned, this is only going to go to users who are in your targeting segment that you can quickly have a view here. So I'm targeting males in Maharashtra, and to the males in Maharashtra who consume content of the ShareChat app in Hindi, right? Again, CTA URL. And of course, since my caption, my image, and all the things that I want to talk about my product is in Hindi, I most probably would want my CTA to be in Hindi as well. And that is what I put here. So if you look at this, there's a stark difference in how your creative is going to be consumed, right? In what kind of users you're going to reach out by your creative. And this is the power of contextuality that we kind of deliver to our advertisers to tweak as much as possible for their creatives and to gain as much traction as possible from the contextuality that the users are already coming onto the platform. All you have to do is after all this is done, you go ahead and submit your campaign for approval. One place where you would be stopped is obviously because we have no details on how you're going to be build on your campaigns. We have a prepaid wallet that you can just top up the first time. Since this is a demo account and I just created it freshly, it doesn't happen to have any funds. And all you have to do while you're submitting your first campaign is maybe go ahead and top up your wallet. I'm going to top it up with a 10,000 bucks. And as a disclaimer, what you'll be charged is 11,800 because an 18% of a GST is applicable to whatever payments or whatever top-ups you're making to your wallet. And I'm just going to quickly pay up using my credit card out of all the various options that you have available here. So you can use any of your wallets, you can create EMIs on your saved cards, you can use UPIs, and there's 100 more options available. Like every payment option available in the market, we have it here for uploading your or topping up your wallet. I'm just going to quickly use my Google Pay UPI app to pay up this amount. And what I'm doing is I've just generated a QR. I scanned that QR in my Beam API, Beam UPI app, and as soon as I'm done paying up here, this gets updated on your platform. You get the order ID, and then just when we are wiring up and putting up a lot of things in place, we take a 10 seconds break, and this is how you see your campaign that has been created. Your campaign obviously goes into an approval flow that our teams that are sitting in the back end go and look very carefully into what creatives that you have put. Do they fall into our policies for content and guidelines for ad promotions or not? And they also go a stride ahead and check your URLs for you. A lot of times people enter erroneous URLs that might not give them any bang for their buck. Right? So we apprise you if there's any mistakes that you've made in your campaign. If the URLs that you've provided to your campaign do not actually work, we don't want you to waste your money. So we apprise you one time before we approve your campaign, and that is when we give you a chance to kind of make changes to your campaign and send it to approval again. This is all about how you can go ahead and create your campaign. As soon as I created the campaign state that you can see is it is in pending approval. This is pending to start on the 30th of September. Our teams who kind of go in the back end and quickly approve your campaigns work at a TAT of some 4 to 5 hours, and while we are doing a lot of diligence on our end to see how your campaigns look and all those things, within a max of 4 hours on any of the working days, we approve your campaigns and they're good to go. Going forward, I think we also have to go about how you can analyze your running campaigns, right? And to that point, obviously, because I don't have a new campaign or an existing running campaign on the platform, so I'll have to go to another account that I have made which actually has a actually running campaign. I'll stop my screen share for a moment, log into my account from which I run my ads on ShareChat ads, and quickly give you a view of how drilled down analytics data is something that we provide to you on the ShareChat platform. Hey, can anyone confirm if they can see the right screen where I have a campaign that's running already? Awesome. So this is a campaign that I've been already running on the ShareChat app to create a little more awareness amongst our users about our business propositions. And if I go ahead and analyze the campaign, all the cuts that you're able to see onto the campaign are available here. We give you segregated data on how the delivery of your campaign is looking like and how the reach of your campaign is looking like. Reach is the unique number of users that you've already had a touch point with on the ShareChat app. Within delivery, you see your impressions, your clicks, your spends, what is the click-through rate that you've been getting onto your campaign, and that is quickly available to be filtered on dates. There are a few dynamic filters that are available. If you want to look your data just for today, just check today. If you want to look for your data yesterday, last week, last month, or also we give you an option to customize your start date and end date for whatever you want the report to your campaign. Right now, I'm just going to switch back to the last week again. Look at your daily impressions and clicks on a graphical view, obviously exportable in PNG and CSV formats if you want to. You can also, have a quick look, a quick contrast between what are your daily impressions and clicks, and if you have happened to, maybe make some changes to your bids, some changes to your budgets, to your already running campaigns, you can see what is the contrast of impression and clicks to what you're spending daily, what kind of users or the number of users, unique users that you're reaching with your campaign daily. We also take a step ahead, and besides all this data that is already available on a lot of places, of course, for a lot of people, we give you a drilled down version into what is the split of gender that you've been delivering to. Of course, if you go ahead and configure your campaign only for males, this won't make a lot of sense because your campaign is only going to go to males. But if your campaign is not gender agnostic, you can have a split on how many impressions did your campaign deliver to which gender, and also in contrast to that, how many clicks were you generating from that gender. So in terms of that, you want to know that what is the CTR to your campaign, and if you want to revise your campaign, what you will do is you can quickly go and just tweak your campaign. If for instance, males were getting more impressions, but females were garnering more clicks, this gives you a ready insight that, maybe your campaign is only meant for females and you tweak your campaign for best performance. There's also impression and click-wise data available in intro. And we give you a drilled down version into what are the top cities and top states that your campaign has been delivering to. Again, on the number of impressions and clicks onto those geographies. When we talk about reach, I know within the delivery platform, you saw how many users did you reach on your campaign on an aggregated basis. But again, on the terms of reach, we give you a drill down data onto what is your gender-wise reach, what is your age group-wise reach, and what are the top cities where you have garnered the most reach to your campaign, and what are the top states that you've garnered the most reach to your campaigns. And this is all about the whole platform demo. This should enable you to kind of go run as many campaigns as you want, and obviously analyze your campaigns, look for more ways. Obviously, we are available for help and support on our chatbot, or also on adsupport@sharechat.co, which you can use to reach out to us if you're having any problems getting started up, if you are having any problems on scaling up your campaigns, or maybe if you want some techniques or some tweaks that we can make from our experts here, who can give you a lot of creative strategy, who can give you a lot of targeting strategy, just so that the campaign is a win for you. So, while we have already gone through the whole charter of how you can see and run your ad campaigns onto ShareChat, we also wanted to talk about the perks of being a ShareChat business partner. A few of you are, if you're already new users onto the ShareChat ads platform, there is an ad credits that there is an ad credits program that we are running for all our new users. And this comes as a gift to all our users, to all our advertisers, because we are all entering into the festive season and everyone wants more and more campaigns, more and more conversions, more and more touch points with the users of Bharat. So as an offer that we are running for a limited period, whatever money that you offload onto your wallet, right? And that can be seen here as well. Whatever money you offload to your wallet, if you quickly go to your account manager and then billing center, and while that loads, because the system is just starting up, while that loads, I can take you through what is the ad credits offer, whatever money. So I ended up ending 10,000 bucks to the wallet, right? That is what I match, or that is what ShareChat matches for you. So you have inventory worth of 20,000 to burn now. You kind of deposited 10,000 bucks to your wallet, and ShareChat from their end gives you 10,000 more promotional ad credits that you can utilize for your further campaigns. There are various results that you can obviously garner from your ShareChat ads campaigns, right? And while I said there is a CST team that is available for you to give a personalized plan, give you market insights and resources, that is also available on our storefront pages for that we went through in the beginning of the walkthrough. And we also kind of generate unique propositions for your brands if they fall into a place where you want to make a certain effort of advertising and you need some custom help. We're there to help for that as well. We've also in the past kind of gotten a few achievements and recognitions by the Mobix Summit Awards. We got a gold for mobile application, the best mobile application in social media, and a few bronze medals for certain campaigns that we ran for Kurkure. Also, as per App Annie, we are the top publisher award. We have the top publisher award in 2021, and we ranked 4. This is all about it. I guess we can move to the questions now.
Yeah. Thanks, Nikunjan and Siddharth, for a very insightful session. I am sure our audience also loved it. We will now move to the question and answer sections where we have to address the queries from our audience. And our first question to you is, do you have cost per install targeting? Siddharth, if you could answer that.
Yep. Thanks for the question. Again, to put some more light onto having different pricing models on the platform, we just have a CPM buy and a CPC buy available as of now. Although we enable you to run your ads for conversions, but right now on the platform you don't want to we don't have
So the only billing models, the only pricing models that are available on the ShareChat ads self-serve platform right now is a cost per 1,000 impressions and a cost per click. We let you optimize on conversions and installations for that matter, but a CPI model per se isn't available on the platform as of now.
Okay. Sai Praneeth, I hope you got your answer. The second question also happens to be from him, Siddharth. He's asking, do we plan to integrate with MMPs like Tinjin.io, Singular, etc.?
Yeah, so we are integrated with Singular for that matter. Okay. If there is any other, so right now the list of integrated MMPs goes like this. We have integration with Singular, we have integration with AppsFlyer, Kuchava, Branch, Adjust. If there are any more requests or any more MMPs that come up, and we keep a very close scrutiny on what is emanating from the market and what does our advertisers want. We have a quick form that we have available for putting out whatever feature requests or integration requests that our users might have. I'm just pinging the link to the form here for everyone. Whoever this link is relevant to, you can have this offloaded or copied onto your systems and apply for any new features that you want to see. We are very transparent with our users, and the same transparency bridge is something that we want to bridge with our users, right? So this form you can use to maybe submit your feature request, something that you that might make this product indispensable for you. And we will be very, very mindful of putting them into our future roadmaps, and also giving you a communication on how is it prioritized in our roadmap. And towards that point, I think you can also use this form to give us more suggestions on what MMPs do you want us to integrate with next.
Right. So the next question happens to be on the analytics level, whereby Sai again asks, can we check CPC or CPI at the ad creative level?
Yeah. So around CPIs, we are working very briskly to get those level of data crunches on creative levels and campaign levels on the platform as well. Right now, in our analytics portal, what kind of conversion matrices or what kind of cost per conversions you are getting, that might be a cost per sale that you're deriving through your e-commerce website, or that could be a cost per install that you are deriving through your user acquisition campaign. We are working very briskly to get that incorporated onto an analytics platform. But again, that comes with a caveat that you have to pass on those events to us from either your MMPs or an offline channel, how many installs you've been getting, and we'll be happy to, kind of corroborate all that into a report for you, for your browser.
Right. So the next question comes from Jayant, and he's asking, by when can we expect performance campaigns to be made available on the platform? I am sure the performance campaigns are there. Maybe Siddharth, you can shed more light on that.
Yeah. So as I was speaking about it, the conversions model is still in beta, and while you want to run a performance campaign that you can optimize on your end conversions, whatever events you can post back to us via your app or the ShareChat Pixel, we'd be happy to take you in as a beta partner. All you have to do is go to the chatbot on your ads.sharechat.com portal and send us a request, and we'll get you added to the beta.
Awesome. So Shubham has a question that I can't select a category of our brand. Is there a problem? If you could explain that.
So we keep on changing and refreshing the categories of advertisers that we have, and very soon we'd be moving to another very generalized category form that is provided by the Interactive Ads Bureau. While we are at it, maybe you can reach out to ads support@sharechat.co, or even reach out to us via our chatbot. If your category isn't available, we'd be happy to add it in a very, very small time.
Okay. So another question from Mr. Syed. He's asking if our platform is helpful in B2B product campaigns as well, because I'm sure B2C is something which is proven now.
So while you look at a lot of B2B propositions, right, we certainly have a lot of advertisers who have garnered a lot of conversions from our user base. Essentially, when we talk about 1 out of every 4 internet users in India, a lot of our users are also small business owners that can take leverage of your B2B product, right? And while you're at it, our team also give you a lot of content strategies, a lot of targeting strategies, and then towards the furtherance of it, when we come out with our newer features relevant to your B2B market go-to-market strategies, we are gonna help you as much as possible. But again, for your question, to answer your question right now, we have had a lot of advertisers who have spent humongous budgets on our platform, and they have gotten those performances.
So that actually reminds me, Siddharth, Flipkart recently did a reseller campaign with us, whereby they wanted to target and reach out to the seller base in India, and it was a huge success. So Syed, you must go to our LinkedIn page and see that success metrics of that campaign.
Yeah, and all those reports, all those relevant reports would also be available to you on ads.sharechat.com/research reports, and all of our statistics that we gather around how the Indian market is shaping up, how ShareChat is helping various levels of advertisers to achieve their brand objectives. All those will be available to you on our storefront as well.
So our next question is from Arnab Hazarika. He's asking, what are the platform and placements for ShareChat ads?
I'm sorry, I might have missed what you said, Bhavna, or maybe I did not understand the question.
Yeah, basically he's asking about the ad placements on the ShareChat ads.
Awesome. Okay. So while we have talked about the ad formats that are available already, right? We on our end choose the best placement for your ad. So when we are talking about a native display ad, we have multiple feeds that are available to a user to consume content. There are various feeds where all the posts, which are typically news articles, typically the posts that various uh, you know publisher generated contents that flow into the system. There is a huge pipeline of user generated content that show in a post form. All your native display ads go onto those feeds, whereas we also have 4 to 5 full screen video feeds is where your native video ads go. And just because we don't want to break that line of context, we don't want our users to be to generate a fatigue to the ads, we don't go and disturb the flow of a user a lot. So all your display ads go on all the display feeds onto ShareChat. All your video ads go to video feeds on ShareChat, and the exit interstitial is anyway something that pops out when a user is exiting the app. So that is a placement in its own.
Okay, thanks for that. We have another question from Jayant Ramaseti. He's asking, do you have UTM parameters for the same to precisely know from where the purchase is happening?
So UTM parameters kind of become a function of your Google Analytics, right? If you happen to have some UTM parameters added to your website URLs, yes, we kind of allow you having your own UTM parameters on your website links, and those details while you generate traffic to your UTM sources, all those details get populated onto your GA accounts. Yes.
Great. Now I move on to a question from Abhijit Day. He's asking, how do you capture your users' data like age, gender? Because when I downloaded the app, I was not asked for creating an account, but I still could use it.
Yep. So we believe in giving the best comfort to our users, right? And this is a very good question. And you'd have me telling you a few secrets of how we do all this, right? So again, we never ask our users in a very intentful manner of what your age group is or what your gender is. Obviously, you have a certain point in your profile when you want to enrich your profile, when you want to create a lot of followers onto your ShareChat account. Then it will be imperative for you to give the right information, because there'd be people following you onto the ShareChat app. But if you're just an end consumer and you just want to go to the ShareChat app to just consume some content, we don't necessarily ask for your information until and unless you go and log in with your new phone number as well. How do we judge what? Now, of course, there'd be a lot of users who don't give us this information. That is where our DS algorithms, how we look at various people's behaviors, and we match it with the people that we have data for already. A huge pipeline that runs in the back end every 5 to 10 seconds, looking at user behavior, how they're consuming content, at what time and day they're coming online, and then maybe map it to the users for whom we have data already, and then bring out a predictive analysis of what age group or what gender does a user belong to. And in our previous tests, where we have gotten in touch with a lot of measurement agencies that are prevalent in the world, we have seen a very high overlap in what we predict and what the actual age and gender of the user is. Obviously, you can't hit 100% bell there, but again, we are improving on that. We are already on a good point there on our predictive analysis, and we are just putting all our metal to kind of generate a better predictive analysis on what the demographic of the user is, and also besides the demographic, what is the user's purchase intent, how is the user behaving on the internet, what kind of content is the user consuming, and then creating all those subtle targeting values that we talked about within the product overview and the demo. That is all all that predictive analysis goes onto all our dynamic signals that we have made available to you.
Okay, that was a great insight. So Kedarnath Sahu has a question. What's the ad creative format guideline that we have to follow, like video length, etc.?
Awesome. So all our ad creative guidelines are also available onto a URL, a policy URL. But again, we go with market standards. We don't allow profanity. We don't allow ads that have a adult or a sexual intent. We don't allow misleading or clickbaity ads, and that is something that we've maintained to kind of have that kind of sanity onto the platform. And while the user is someone who brings up to a level where we can talk about generating a monetizable structure out of it, we take care of how our users feel about the content, and that is typically what we don't allow. Something that's profane or sexually suggestive, or clickbaity, or makes wrong promises. Another thing that you might get blocked on is if you give us a URL and none of your creatives or your landing page talks about something that is banned, but again, further pages in your website, if talk about the things that we don't allow, in due time, those things will also be raised to you as an advertiser, and we'd request you to make changes, make amends for going further.
Okay. Now, Abhijit has a question that can we use the company name as individual or just our brand's domain name?
You're free to use any name to your company's name. If you want to be referred to your own name as your company's name, we're totally cool. The only thing where it will be of benefit to you is that we also ask for, while we are charging GST from you, and if you happen to have a registered GST, if you happen to have registration on the GST portal, we create GST incorporated invoices for you, and that helps you take back or charge back your credit on GST. If you don't have the right details furnished there, you unfortunately might not be able to charge back your credit on GST. So furnishing the right details as per, and if you have a GST registration, only helps you.
Yeah. So it means you can claim back your GST if you are doing a business, and it's better to use a business name in that case.
Yeah.
So can we set different CPC bid for each ad creative? This is another question Sai had asked.
So a different CPC, a CPC is only available on the campaign level. But if you have certain creatives where you wanna maybe run five creatives on a CPC of $1, then 2 more creatives on a CPC of $2, all you have to do is go ahead, and all other options on your campaigns are the same, right? You only have to go ahead, create your first campaign, and then clone your campaign. While you clone your campaign, you give it another CPC and just upload your new creatives that you maybe want to run on a higher CPC or a lower CPC.
Okay.
And you don't have to go through the whole heavy lifting of putting all those targeting values, putting all those campaign specifics into place.
So I have a question from Jayant, who's asking, do we have targeting based on salary, groups, profession, and interests as well?
So when we talk about targeting available on salary groups and interest, obviously we have it. We have it out in the content affinity, app affinity, and in market categories. But when you talk about salary groups, right, ShareChat might not be the right platform to judge whose salary is what. But we also are introducing a lot of more variables in the future, of course. And this is a quick sneak peek that I'm going to give you into what we are going on for next. We have our own user store as well, and we also ask our users a lot of questions to bring about a better experience to them. And within that, if we can churn out some details of what suggestively the user might be earning, what is their earning capacity, what is their spending capacity, almost available onto different various signals available, such as how expensive their device is, or also drill down signals that we in future might make available to you that could suggest how is the user's earning capacity or the spending capacity. But right now, if you talk about right now, we don't have a suggestive targeting value on spending capacity and earning capacity. But we've seen a few good responses on the certain switches that we make, on the certain targeting amalgamations that we have, maybe using a device manufacturer, which you can see as a premium phone, or a premium phone manufacturer, along with if the user has a new phone with the minimum device age. That gives you a proxy on what is the spending capacity of the user, and to that, you can also corroborate to the earning capacity of the user.
Right. Okay, there's a question around pixel integration also. And people are asking if we would do a Shopify integration. So I think you can answer that, because there are a lot of e-commerce brands who work with us. I'm sure we have an integration ready.
So within the launch of our beta, we launched the ShareChat Pixel about 2 weeks back, right? And opened up the beta. We've had almost 30 advertisers coming up to us interested in the ShareChat Pixel. We haven't been advertising or marketing about it a lot because we want to make initial amends to get you the right product. But again, to those 30 people who have requested, all of them are running their campaigns and are seeing good results. If you want to get enrolled into the beta again, you'll have to just reach out to us via our chat box that we have available on the ads.sharechat.com. And the further implementation of the ShareChat Pixel will be followed through with documents that can help you how to fire up or wire up your ShareChat Pixel to your website. And then we can go forward from there. It is going to be a very personal experience when you're going to...
I know, because Jayant Rasamasethi is saying, excellent presentation, Siddharth and Bhavna. And we spend a lot on budgets on Facebook and LinkedIn, found conversion pixel useful. Do we have a conversion pixel available? I am sure, Jayant, your question is answered, right? So Ankita has a question. Can we create ads in more than one language? That is very obvious, Ankita. You can use creators in any language. Siddharth, can you explain that more to her?
Yeah, within your creative section, you are free to upload images, and your images can obviously have supers of any language. And we also, let you tweak your creatives with captions in different languages and your CTA texts in different languages. Along with that, you have a language attribution parameter so that you can very, very nicely target your creatives to a user who's certainly consuming the content on the ShareChat app in your favored language, on the language of the creative that you're serving to them.
So what is the minimum CPC bid? Sai is very inquisitive, and I'm happy that he's asking so many questions.
So the minimum CPC bid that we allow on the platform right now is $1, 1 rupee. But again, what you implement as your bid is also, and the function to how your campaign is going to perform or your daily budget is going to get consumed or not, is a function of what kind of interest and what kind of inflow of advertising campaigns does ShareChat have. So we have a very intricate bidding system that flows into our whole advertising ecosystem. And whatever the advertiser wants to bid for a certain cohort of users, the inventory goes to only the advertiser who wants the user and is paying and is bidding the highest. So if you happen to be, targeting males in Maharashtra, and me for an advertiser, I'm also looking for males in Maharashtra, we both will be into a war where who's, bidding the best for the best inventory. And that is how it rolls out. To answer your question, the minimum CPC that you can traffic onto your campaign is 1 rupee. The minimum CPM that you can traffic to your campaign is 10 rupees. But again, towards the furtherance, when you go and look for scale, when you go and look for more users, more definitive, engaging, intentful users, your bid strategies will have to, change likewise.
Sai is also inquisitive about Moj monetization. He's asking, are Moj ads present on our platform currently? So Sai, yes, you can contact us for Moj ads, but it'll take some time for us to place them on our self-serve.
A little more context on the Moj ads, right? So while Moj is a newer product that we have, we are kind of putting a lot of effort onto building the right user experience in terms of ads. Obviously, ingesting ads is a huge undertaking, right? Because you need to devise the right solution and the right experiment. So we are in betas. We are running a few ads with a few select advertisers right now. And again, as Bhavna mentioned, for running a few ads on Moj, you can obviously contact our sales teams. But until and unless we create the right experience for a self-serve user and for the Moj user, we are reserving our rights to offload the ability of trafficking ads on Moj within the ShareChat ad self-serve. But that is for sure is gonna drill down and come to the ShareChat ad self-serve in the near future.
So Namit has a very good question whereby he says, how do you suggest we run campaigns on ShareChat? We currently test products and scale them accordingly, depending on the campaign's performance on Facebook advertisement. We immediately close campaigns that do not work out for us. How much daily budget do you suggest we keep to us initially to test a product on your platform?
So we usually recommend an advertiser to at least run their campaigns for a week, right? Because there are a lot of algorithms that are running in the backend, and they also need some learning data to base their further predictions on. And to your comfort, while I was talking about the ad credits, right? As soon as you put some $5,000 maybe onto the wallet, you're getting 5,000 rupees from us as well. So we are anyway reducing your experimental budget to half, right? Just for spending $5,000, you gain an inventory of 10,000. So that is something that I'm sure will bring in a lot of comfort to the advertisers, and that is exactly our intent, to make our advertisers comfortable. So maybe you start with a campaign. I would not be able to comment on what kind of budgets you can include. Obviously, the client solutions teams will pitch in then when you happen to create your users and your accounts onto ShareChat ads. But all that information will be available to you, and with the sigh of comfort, you can believe that obviously whatever you're going to spend, we are going to spend the same on your behalf as well. So that comfort can be built, I guess.
So Siddharth, the list is endless, but I would like to take up Chetan's question. He says that he's a foreign advertiser and looking for an Indian local agency who can help him run ads on ShareChat and Moj. Can we help him?
100%, we're there to help. Reach out to us via our email, via any touch point that you find available. We have our very, very responsive chat system available on ads@sharechat.com as well. Reach out to us. We are looking for people like you. We are hungry to help people.
Yes. Chetan, I'll ask my sales team to send out an email to you. You can connect with them, right? Do you provide account manager if required, who can help us optimizing the ads? Prasad is asking.
Certainly do.
Yes, we have. So I think, can brands run their ads by following your creative guideline? I'm sure they can. Guidelines are meant to be followed. And Ankita Tiwari says your chatbot has not been working, and she has left a query. Ankita, I'll get in touch with you personally and resolve your queries.
Another thing here, right? Since we have all humans working, so we work best between Monday to Friday. Feel free to drop in your query, of course, but you can expect some delays in replies when we are into the weekends. We work hard and we party harder. So, but then again, we make sure that we reach out to you whenever we are in office hours. If not, then you can feel free to send us an email at adsupport@sharechat.co as well. And I'm sure if something was missed, apologies, but we make it a point to reach out to all the people who are looking for questions to be answered.
Thanks. I think we already fired 3 minutes above our time. And I do appreciate everybody joining the session and making it so interactive towards the end with a lot of questions that you've sent. We will go through the questions again, and most probably these FAQs will be available to you as answers on website, so that you can look back to answers in case you forget anything. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining. Thanks, Nikunj. Thanks, Siddharth. Thanks, Natasha, for helping out, and thanks, Seema, and all the people who joined. It was lovely hosting you. Look forward to another class from us soon. We'll get back to you through email or message, or keep visiting our website for more updates, ads.sharechat.com. Bye-bye.
So much, everyone.
Bye.